Hello.
Yeah, we got you.
So you said, how did I make that make sense?
No, you didn't make it make sense. It just makes you sound stupid on everything else you said. You tried to dumb down the 55th pick, but then you're trying to make the 10th pick in the G League draft look so special. But the number one pick in the G League draft wishes he was the 55th pick in the NBA draft.
No, I get that. Okay. The example was because the example was Bronny James coming from USC, averaging 4 points, getting drafted the 55th pick, right? Zaire Wade's high school career being drafted to the G League is worse. See, Zaire Wade was a bench player on his high school team as a senior. You had seniors on your team when you came into the NBA. Now think about the bench player who averaged four. Were they good enough to make a college team, an advanced high school team? But he got drafted the number 10th pick in the G League. Hence why 3 years later, he's still trying to get in the G League because he wasn't even close to a G League player, let alone a college player, let alone a D2 player. So he got advanced. He got advanced shit. Fucking damn near 6 rounds up. Like Bronny, the G League, okay. He got an advantage there. But Zaire Wade to the G League it wasn't a thing. He wasn't good enough to be on his high school team, let alone getting drafted to a G League team. Like that's what it is. It's someone who wasn't good enough on his. He wasn't the sixth man. He wasn't the seventh man. He was none of those guys, and he got drafted to a G League team, the 10th pick, not a tryout. Like so, that was the equivalent. Like he was that bad. So Bronny James, let's say out of the two, Zaire Wade got more help than Bronny James did. That's all that was.
So, but you agreed that LeBron doing this for Bronny was nepotism and it was okay. That's what the media was first saying, correct?
Was it okay?
Yeah, the media was saying we all should appreciate what LeBron did for his son because all of us would do it if we had an opportunity because it's nepotism. So what Dwayne Wade did was nepotism. Let's just agree that his son wasn't good enough to make it even to a G League draft. Mm-hmm. And what Dwayne Wade did was nepotism. So why isn't that looked at on the same level as Bron? But let me tell you the difference. The difference is Dwayne Wade did not draft his son to an NBA team. He went to a developmental league. Now, based on your stats, you're saying he's not even good enough to get drafted by a developmental league, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But maybe the coach, maybe that GM saw something different than you. Maybe in the workouts, it was past the stats that you brought up, that in the workouts, the kid actually did a better job, because that could happen, correct?
Yeah, I could.
Okay, so you bringing up those stats that he had in high school may not justify what he did present day in those workouts. Mm-hmm. So let's say he earned the spot in a developmental league. Bronny James didn't earn a spot in the NBA. His daddy said he's ready to play right now. While he was a freshman in college, Dad said he was ready to play. And this is so far from the truth. I play video of this kid coming off the pick and roll. He's rounding the pick and roll. And that would make sense if you trained him, because if you round the pick and roll, you're fast enough to just keep going by somebody and they can't stay in front of you. Or if you round the pick and roll and you're so fast, they would have to back up and get to the paint, which will lead for you a quick jump shot. Bronny James don't have the natural ability of Gilbert Arenas. So maybe you didn't see that he wasn't going shoulder to shoulder, that he was rounding it, allowing that defender to catch up. And maybe that's why you think I'm hating opposed to maybe you should have watched different and not trained him to be you and trained him to be him. And so it's a disservice to all the guys that's in the G League that Bronny got the 55th pick, because all of those guys, even the number 1 pick in the G League draft, would wish he was the 55th pick.
Okay, one, I trained him in 8th grade. There was no pick and rolls. No one did pick and rolls in 8th grade. He's a shooting guard, so there's a reason he don't know how to do pick and roll, because he never really played point. That's a big problem for him, because he never grew. They thought probably he was going to grow to be 6'8", 6'9", so him being a 2-3. So that was just bad management on that part.
Makes sense.
Now, here's the difference between reality and opinion. If I ask you, what's reality here? Reality is he did get picked 55. The reasoning doesn't matter. He
Hold
did
on.
get picked 55.
Go ahead. I'm going to just go off camera and mute for a second. I got to blow my nose, but go ahead.
Him getting picked 55th and getting a 4-year deal is the facts. Our opinions is he doesn't deserve it. Our opinions is someone else should have that job from the G League. True. But that's not actually the reality here. The reality is he got picked 55th. He got a guaranteed deal. And right now we're just arguing something that is actually the fact here. Right? Is he good enough? No. Will he be? We don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody's going to judge him 3-4 years from now. Like Dwayne Wade's son came in 3 years ago, 2021. He's still trying to get back in the G League. And as of now, he still is not good enough to be on the G League team.
But Dwayne Wade could make him good enough to be on the G League or the Utah Jazz. And so that's why it's commendable.
You said he could?
He definitely could.
But he hasn't in 3 years. It's been 3 years.
He does. If you listen, I played the interview with D Wade. He said his son called him. He said, I don't want to hear how hard it is. If you want something bad enough, you work at it and you accomplish it. But Dwayne Wade is part owner. If he wanted his kid to get advanced up, he could have. Dwayne Wade seemed like that's the one help he gave him to say, hey, I'm your pops. This is what you want to do. I'm going to get you there, and then it's on you.
Yes.
And he took his hands off. LeBron never took his hands off.
But that's the thing. What Dwayne Wade did is, I'm going to use my power to get you here. You got to figure this shit out yourself. The same.
But that's not what LeBron is doing.
I'm getting you here. You got to figure this shit out yourself.
How is that figuring it out yourself when he don't have to travel with the team? How is that figuring it out yourself when he scores 4 to 5 points, and then now when he gets a stretch of 4 games, somehow his bone in his heel is bruised? You and I both know that takes like 2 to 3 weeks for a heel bruise. He's out indefinitely. They're hiding this kid.
No, that's the new wording now. Indefinitely means so y'all can stop asking. No, it means so you can stop asking, and then we'll let you know. So instead of putting,
I know the media, I know the inside the media bullshit. They said indefinitely so you can stop asking, so they don't have to talk about it. They want to bury it, because if you say 2 to 3 weeks, then that means he had already wasted a week. So on this little road trip, this little home stretch, he would have had to play 1 or 2 of these games, probably 2.
On which team?
What do you mean, which team? He's already been out since the last game.
No, the NBA or G League?
The G League game.
Oh.
They have a stretch of home games for the G League that Bronny was going to have to play in. It would have been the one in San Diego, which is still in California, and then these 3 home games in a row, which everybody was waiting and anticipating, because now if he run a string of games together, then now they can't say anything. This kid really don't know how to play.
See, I think the problem is you're using just basketball metrics, and you're not using the business around.
That's why he got drafted.
Yeah, yes. So it's not even in the Lakers' best interest to have Bronny go to the G League and give them money because it's not their
Be
money.
careful, Gil. You're going to back yourself into a corner because if they'll do that for Bronny, could they be stringing LeBron along because he's still a cash cow?
I mean, Bron's numbers is numbers. You can't
But his
take it.
defensive numbers are atrocious, and y'all don't talk about it.
I mean,
Can I show you some plays that he just stands on the other end of the court?
we
And
can
then,
show. But
hold
what
on,
I'm saying is, we can
hold
show.
on, hold on 1 second. Let me land this plane. And then they keep LeBron in for garbage minutes when they're down 20 points just so he can meet a number quota.
That's everybody.
So are you saying that the league will string LeBron James along because he's the cash cow?
Yeah.
If they'll do it for Bronny, why wouldn't they do it for his daddy?
They'll do it for any star that still is bringing his number. They
So
did it for.
sometimes, so basically, all those times that LeBron was matched up with Steph Curry, was the league thinking about money? Because I remember during those finals where the Golden State kept matching up with LeBron James in the finals almost 3-4 years in a row. That was like the most watched playoff. Could the NBA be doing that for money? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, the NBA is about money.
So are the games rigged? Is what you're saying?
I've said it plenty of times.
Or you think the NBA a rigging game?
I think some of these games have been rigged.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna back yourself into a corner, Gil.
I've already said this. Now, and here, let me ask you something on the business side. Take away the basketball part of it.
Okay.
You have a 55th pick, and I got to convince you as the owner. I have a 55th pick. He has 6.8 million followers. His video game, his what's the name, all of this. He's a cash cow.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna sit on the end of your bench. His jersey sales is gonna outsell the other 59 players that's going to be in this draft combined in the first week. You're going to pay him. You have to pay him, was it $5-6 million in the first week? He's gonna make you $50 million in jersey sales. Are you gonna draft him?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
So did you hear the question on the screen?
No.
So how can someone be the GOAT when it's rigged? Because they've been calling him the king since day one. Wouldn't they, if they knew that he was his cash cow and they've been marketing him as this cash cow, wouldn't these numbers and these accolades and these trophies and this team matching that they matched him with, wouldn't all that be by design so that they can continue building the mystique of this man to make him this cash cow and make his son who he is and probably make the third son who he is so that they can continue making this money?
You don't think that they've done that from day one?
With who?
Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson and them. Like, you don't think they did it back then? You don't think that the league? I mean, if you listen to Isaiah Thomas, he was complaining that how does this kid who's never won a championship come in and then you guys change all the rules so he can benefit him and you break all our teams up so he can grab all the players? That was their complaint back then for Michael Jordan.
Right. So what they did was they started this narrative with Michael Jordan, with making one player the GOAT or making everybody love one player like he's the whole league. They started with him. Matter of fact, I think they started with Magic, if you ask me. And then it moved, it got bigger with MJ. And then the letdown was when MJ retired. And then they're like, holy shit, what do we do when we don't have this one guy to market? So now I think they got dangerous and dark with it. Because if what you're saying is true, then why wouldn't they not drug test a guy so that we can keep this guy in best form? If we're only using him to make money, why not keep him in tip-top shape in the best form and let everything be at his disposal? And maybe we don't cheat the game, but maybe we just look the other way and don't test him and don't treat him like every other player in the league so that we can keep this money going.
You know, they like when we played, what was it, 4 random tests? Right? You know, now, what year was it when they had they just randomly tested us, but they said it doesn't count? They There was a test. I don't know what year it was, but we all got tested, but it didn't count. Like whatever you're getting caught with, it don't count.
They was capping. They was catching.
Yeah.
They was catching those guys doing that,
No,
and so they knew to keep them on the random list.
no, you know what it was for? It was for data. They wanted to see what all the players was doing.
Yeah,
The
they
start,
use
the
your
start.
urine. Listen, I know what they did. They test your urine. They test all that. They saw what you was eating. They saw
Mhm.
what you was drinking. They saw everything. And even if you got popped for marijuana, you once you knew that you weren't gonna get tested or get in trouble. Some of the guys that were smoking, they didn't stop smoking.
Yeah. So what happens is now what they're trying to figure out is okay. Let's say Kobe had 81. We're gonna test them, but it don't count. It's just random. We want to see what's in your bloodstream so we can duplicate it later on in life. That's why all these big performances, they're testing them, but you've never heard if anybody was dirty or anything from all of those games. Not one time has someone scored 70, 60, 50, and they got drug tested and something came back. I think they're trying to duplicate all these high-powered plays by giving them some type of supplement. Because right now, the rule of thumb is, well, they don't even test for weed anymore. They don't test for weed. But I
You know
heard,
why they don't test for weed no more? I won't say it, but I keep alluding to them bending the rules for certain players, but
yeah,
other players got suspended. And this is why I go against the elitists, because there's been players that's been kicked out of the league for smoking marijuana. And
I,
some of these people in the chat don't know some of
who?
their favorite superstars smoke marijuana. And
All these
once, hold
superstars.
on. And once the NBA found out that some of their biggest superstars were smoking marijuana, guess what they did? They said, we're not kicking them out the league. We're going to just say, fuck it, y'all can smoke. Because some of your biggest superstars, and the reason why they don't show on the pick and roll, and the reason why they're not running back like they should, is because a lot of these niggas smoke marijuana. And Gilbert, you know it and I know it.
No. Fact. No. Who got kicked out for marijuana?
There's a lot of players that's been suspended over and over again for marijuana. Yeah.
And since when?
They had to be shamed and go to drug program. My cousin was one of them.
Oh, you talking about our era? Yeah, no, our era. Since about
Yeah.
2000, since about
They
2000,
were popping all them niggas for weed.
about since 2012, like they really, like we haven't
Because
heard any suspensions from weed anymore.
And
Because I
you know
mean,
why? Some of your biggest superstars was getting popped,
oh no,
and they had
facts.
to leave it up under the wrap. So now they're like, this is a problem. It's not a problem until it's a problem. When
Mhm.
your mega superstars are getting popped for marijuana and you don't want the league to diminish, they look the other way. Everything that I've been saying on my YouTube, you're pretty much admitting it. But
But
everybody wanted to make me seem like I was crazy.
that happened. But that happened in the 80s. See, the same thing that happened when I talked about the 80s and the 90s when everybody was on cocaine. The whole world was on cocaine. So you're talking about the people in the NBA wasn't, but every other sport was. Yeah,
Oh, a
because
lot of them was on cocaine.
David Stern didn't want that out. The league just started, and then when the 90s, and I said everybody was on steroids. Everybody's looking at me like, so every other sport is on steroids, but the one that they don't test is not. Okay, everybody got bald heads. All the niggas is on dialysis now. That for why? Right? Everybody lost their hair in the early 20s, but they wasn't on anything.
But some of them people, daddy lost their hair. Now, I have heard the rumor that you're alluding to, that player that you're talking about was on that white horse.
That.
But
What do you mean? One? No, all of them.
I heard that all of them, but I'm talking about that one in particular player. But the whole steroid thing, I don't believe it. I think that white horse would give the reason for why that person could stay up all night and stand up all night and don't sleep a lot and still wake up and kick ass, because that substance keeps a person up and active. But
Yep.
I don't think it was anything else there. If that was there, I don't think it was nothing else there.
Okay. Okay. We have the same source here. I will.
You got to go back to where you were. You're breaking up. You done. There you go. Can't hear you. There we go.
Yes.
Yeah. We got you.
Yeah.
We hear you. Them goddamn earbuds fuck him up every time. He need to get rid of them goddamn earbuds. We heard him since he got in the car, but he keep goddamn. It's the earbuds fucking you up, Gil. It's his goddamn earbud. The earbuds controlling his sound. But listen, Gilbert exposing everything I've been saying. They gonna look the other way, Jack. So what was everybody arguing?
If you're enjoying this story, kindly do us a favor and subscribe to our channel. It is free and won't cost anything, but it means the world to us. We're just a small channel trying to grow. Thank you, and back to the video.
What was everybody arguing with me for? I look like one of the smartest niggas on the internet. Gil pretty much said everything I said, boy. Damn. The NBA ratings are down because we got to stay off the weed. I got to play that song. Stay off the weed. Yeah, you got to stay off the weed, man. Hey, Gil, I'm going to drop you down and bring you back up when you get that damn shit fixed. Let's let him get his stuff fixed. He probably have to drop it down and come back up. But y'all, everything, am I feeling myself? You damn right. Woo! Nigga, I just broke the internet again. Gilbert Arenas just came over here and pretty much said everything I've been saying. Everything. Man, let that barrel spin, baby.